In today's video, I'm showing you how to embroider this cute little design that you can purchase in my online shop using the SEWTECH Magnetic Hoop for the single needle embroidery machine. And if you're staying to the end of the video, I'll give you the link to save 3% on the magnetic hoops from SEWTECH. 13 by 18 centimeter, which is 5 by 7 inch magnetic version of this hoop. That means today I'm giving you a short insight into the magnetic hoops. I unpacked them with you. I explained them a little bit. I already had a close look, of course, because I can't do a review if I don't know what I'm talking about. So, but they are still in their original box, and that's what they come in. Like, you know, when you order them on their website, you will receive pretty much what I have in my hands here. Like, that is the 10 by 10, as I said, and the 13 by 18. They have different other hoop sizes, depends on the machine. We will start with the 10 by 10 centimeter or 4 by 4 inch hoop, and we do the larger one later. This is the small hoop and the box that it comes in. And when you open the box, that is what you greeted with. It's nicely packed, secure, and it looks pretty good straight out of the box already. Excuse my running nose, please. So, packed with some foam to protect the hoop. And this is wrong, that is the right way, this one. So like this, yeah, okay. So this is the hoop. 4 by 4 inch, 10 by 10 centimeters. It comes with 8 magnets, which are fitted in the way you see here. But later on, when you're using the hoop, you have to pay attention how you fit the magnets to secure your fabric and the stabilizer onto this hoop. So when you unpack the hoop, this is how the magnets are fitted to the frame. But this is not the way how you use them later on. Pay attention to how you fit the magnets when you secure your stabilizer and your fabrics later on. I'll show you in a minute what I mean. So for now, you can just slide them off. And look how strong they are. Like, they're stuck together very easily. And you have to be careful. I mean, you will not hurt yourself, but they are pretty strong. So there you go. And they all have warning signs. Strong magnets. Watch your fingers. Don't put into other areas with magnets. And if you have a pacemaker, you should not use these magnets because they are very strong. That's how you stack them, and I tell you why. This hoop, or every hoop, comes with an instruction. A user instruction how to use the hoop. You can't go wrong with that. I highly recommend reading the instructions carefully before using the hoop the first time, because, to be honest, I have seen a few reviews already, and all of them have used the magnets the wrong way, and I don't know why, but it's all written here in the instructions. You can't go wrong with that one. It is showing you how to fit the magnets on the frame to secure your fabrics and your stabilizer. So you can do like normal embroidery, you can use sticky, well, that is what's shown here. You can use sticky stabilizer at the back of the hoop, and then at the front you just attach your garments. You can do freestanding lace, or here, endless embroidery. That's what it is here on the back. I would highly recommend go through the instruction and check the pictures. General instructions. You will get a grid that has little holes. And these holes fit into the notches that you have here, and that makes it super easy to align your garments to place the embroidery in the perfect position, okay? You don't leave that on when you embroider, of course. You have to remove that before you start your embroidery, of course. Otherwise, you know, you will stitch it onto the garment. You don't want that. That is just a guide. The hoop itself has a soft top which prevents the stabilizer and fabrics from moving and sliding on the hoop. Like when you attach your magnets, they stay in place and nothing moves, okay? The back of the hoop is very shiny and doesn't have any sharp edges, and even on the right hand side there is a plastic protector to protect your machine from any scratches. When you are using sticky stabilizer, it is also shown here in the instruction, you stick the stabilizer to the back of the hoop on that area, and then you turn your hoop, place your fabric, straighten your fabric and secure it with the magnets, okay? I'll show you in a minute. If you are going to store your hoop when you're not using it, do not attach the magnets to the hoop, because that will flatten the flocked surface here and you will have marks on the surface. You don't want that. This is soft and even at the moment. It looks a little bit like it has different prints, but it's just from the guide here. But if you put the magnets on, like for a longer period of time, you will have the magnet marks here and you flatten the flocked surface. You don't want that. So when you store your hoop, just stack your magnets that way and your hoop next to each other, and maybe put them back in their package, in the plastic bag they came with, and always keep your manual with it as well. So that is my advice for that. Now, let's compare the two hoops with each other. This one is the genuine brother hoop that came with my machine. This one is the magnetic hoop. So let's see if they have any difference. First we check the attachment, like whatever that is called, the part that goes into your embroidery arm on your machine. It looks a little bit different on the magnetic hoop than it looks on the plastic hoop, as you can see, but the most important things are all the same. At least that's what it looks like. Or the the magnet is catching the screw here down here, but when you put them next to each other, you pretty much see that they are the same, so they should fit. And I already tested that. Yes, the magnetic hoop fits perfectly into my machine, and the machine is actually recognizing it as well. I have this little cute dress here for my granddaughter. I want to embroider a little design on here, one of my designs that you find in my shop, just to test the hoop and see how it works. I will not use any sticky stabilizer because this one is a very nice cotton fabric. It doesn't stretch. It is just a nice summer cotton fabric, and I only use cutaway stabilizer. So what I'm doing here is putting my stabilizer on my cutting mat, put the hoop onto the stabilizer, and eyeballing the size that I need for this design. And I cut my stabilizer just as I would with the other hoop. So if I would use my genuine hoop, that is the size that I would use, like the stabilizer size, and you have to remove the inner hoop, put the stabilizer in, put the hoop back into, or even if you want to hoop it with the fabric, you have to put both parts together into the hoop. So, and then you know, it is pretty complicated to line up the designs perfectly. With this hoop, I hope This is the first time I'm using it. I haven't tried it before, so you're seeing me trying to hoop the garment and line up the design the very first time, just like you would do it, okay? So what I'm doing here is, first I take one of the magnets and put it in place. And because I have the notches here, I'm checking, see, I have to put the magnets somewhere out of the way, because otherwise I can't use the notches here, the little raised areas, to line up my guide. So what I'm doing is, because the guide has like the round edges to the inside of the hoop, what I'm doing here is I'm placing the magnets on the corners of the hoop to keep the stabilizer in place for a moment. All right, that is my idea how I'm doing it now at the moment. Now I'm sliding the hoop into the garment. Let's have a look if that works. It looks like. I could open the dress as well, because it has buttons at the back. And this is the area where I want to embroider the design. So let's see. This is the guide. Where do I want to have the design? Yeah, pretty much here. I have a fold here, and that is the center of the front of the dress, the garment a little bit. Remember, I do not use any sticky stabilizer. I don't use any adhesives in place. So now what I'm doing is I'm grabbing the magnets from underneath. While I keep the guide and the garment in place, I'm just grabbing the magnets to temporarily secure the dress a little bit, okay? And now I'm lifting up the guide, taking the magnet with the grip on this side and sliding it towards the edge of the hoop, like the inner edge. Yeah. So same on the other side. Lifting up my guide. Remember, I haven't done it before. It's my first time as well. So, and by sliding it from the inside to the outside, you're stretching the fabric a little bit. I'm just checking if this is still correct. Yes, it is. So I put the guide away, and now I'm going to use the other magnets to secure the dress even further. Can you see that? I'm not moving the dress, I'm just securing the fabric. And move this one as well. Of course the pin. So let's see. Let's see how safe this is when I turn everything in place. It looks good so far. I just have to make sure that I will have the design in this area, and that is what I have to test on the machine. I don't want to run the design over the seam here. Now we are going to put the hoop in. So I put the hoop into the machine carefully. Good. You have to make sure you only have the layer under the needle that you want to embroider, okay? Make sure the magnets sitting where they are supposed to sit. And now I'm going to check if the design that I have selected is fitting in the embroidery area. And for that I'm using my screen here. And it's following the size of the design. It looks actually pretty good. Well, this way, this way, this way, and this way. Okay, center it. Fantastic. I'm going into embroidery mode, and I thread my machine with the first color, and then I stitch out the design. I will not record the whole stitch out, but I will show you the end result, okay? Here is a short hint for you. If you want to keep the fabric out of the way or stop it moving, you can lift one of the magnets and then secure the fabric with one of the magnets. Not all of them, but just a few, just to make sure that you do not run into trouble. Like here, if it falls down, it would probably get caught somehow. So that makes it easier for the whole design to stay in place. So the embroidery is finished and I can remove the hoop from my machine carefully, because you have to take the garment with you. But look at that, there is no wrinkle, nothing. Nicely and clean and straight embroidered, no pulling, nothing. Perfect. The embroidery is finished and the dress is still in place. I can now remove the magnets and then I will cut the stabilizer at the back and the dress is finished. That is so cute. Remember, stack them together. They are easily stored that way and they actually jump in place. So that is pretty much the final result. I think it turned out super cute, and as I said, what I used was the 10 by 10 centimeter hoop. Very easy to use. I used it the very first time. I've never used a SEWTECH hoop before, but I can tell you that it won't be the last time. But look at this. This is for my little granddaughter and I hope she loves it. She's turning 2 next year, and I guess this is a super cute little personalized birthday gift.